Hi everyone, so this is going to be a demo of how I do the 2D to 3D and do the animation in Daz Studio. So this is the character that we're going to use for this particular demo. However, I will show you how to do a generation. Once you sign in, you will select the Cube 3D app and you'll get your page. To generate a model, you just click generate 3D model and just drag and drop in an image. So for example, if I select here the male pose, A pose demo, it does take a while with the free version. Okay, so now it will go through. You do actually have to keep clicking. So I'm going to click here. So I've noticed when it generates like this, this is typically not what the final model looks like. It doesn't have all the like extra things on it. So you'll see here its initial views. Now on the free version, I only have access to the 1.2 turbo. So I'm going to click generate so it can start previewing the model. Then once that's done, I'll have to come back and then I'll have to refine the model. So I won't show all those steps here because it takes a while being on the free version. But I'll just generate this one to get it started. So once your generation is complete, what will happen if we go to this one? You will see here you have the option to share. So you're going to want to click share, and then I keep it in the refine mesh and I select the OBJ. I'm not going to do it now because I've already done that, so that we can go to the next step quickly. But select this file. So now we'll pretend that's already done and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so once that's done, what you will find is you're going to get this zip file. This is what the download will be. And within, you will have to extract that file. So I have already extracted it. So I will go back again. So this is the extracted file. And this is the file that we're going to need for Hexagon. So now we'll go to Hexagon. So I'm using this Hexagon version. It's 2.5.2.109. All right, so first step will be in File. You go and select Import. And this is where I saved my file. And I have already run a Hexagon file. But for the purpose of this demo, we're going to go through this process and you're going to want to set this to OBJ. So we're doing as if I haven't done anything to begin with. So I go into the folder and I select the mesh.obj. That will be the file that was saved from CSM. So for all of this here, I keep everything the same. I don't make any changes. You will see here it does say flip textures. I keep it like that. Sometimes when you save the Hexagon file and reopen it, you will see that your textures don't match up. So let's just open it. So if that ever happens, this one, the textures and the materials are okay. But if for some reason it was all mixed up, I would just go here and I uncheck flip vertically and I check it again, or vice versa. Okay. Now in Hexagon here, the reason I bring it here is I want to resize it and reposition it to send to Daz Studio. Because I don't like making the changes in Daz Studio because I find sometimes it keeps trying to revert back to its own default. So that's the only reason I take it through Hexagon. All right, so first here, I resize this. So I'm going to say keep ratio, and I'm going to start with just an estimate first. I'm going to say maybe let's make this character 180 in height. Now to zoom out, I'm going to use the mouse, the center wheel, and I'm going to scroll it back towards me. To move, I hit that center wheel again, and to pan it, I move it left or right. Alright, so the next thing we want to do after resizing, we want to position her feet from here to be at this floor level. Otherwise, when it's sent into Daz3D, you'll notice she's going to be below the floor. So I'm going to try some values. Maybe I'll start with 50. No, that was too small. Maybe 80. Again, not quite. Maybe 90. Okay, 90. Okay, we'll take it at 90. All right, so now, once I have done the sizing, oh, so sorry, by the way, I'm following it from here. So X, Y, and Z. So that's, I've been changing on the Y. Okay, so once that's done, you go to File again, and you select Export, and it's going to be Wavefront OBJ, and then you save the file. I already saved it once, so I'm going to save a new one, and I'm going to call it second, so that you can see the process. Alright, so when I get this save as, I do not change anything here. I leave it all on the defaults, and I click save. After that's saved, now I go to Daz Studio. I already set up a Genesis figure in Daz Studio just so I could put some clothes on her and make her look decent. Because the characters don't come with clothes when you first put it in the window. Now, for Daz Studio, there are different generations. So if you're new to Daz Studio, they have like their first generation. I think they're now on like Genesis 9. So I'm using Genesis 8.1. I picked that one because I have some animations and props and poses that I would like to use. And so we're going to stick with that for that demo, but you can pick whichever Genesis figure that you want. Right, so now I am going to, oh, sorry, so let me just show you. To bring in the figure, you would just go to your Smart Content. That is this tab right here, and then you select Figures, and I select the Genesis 8.1 Basic Female. I typically just select the Basic Female. I just put clothes on this one, but I prefer when it's not cluttered. If it wasn't for the video, I would just have left the figure as it was, so that I don't get like extra information. Okay, so anyway, let's now go to File. Now we're going to Import. And we take Second Female Warrior, that's the one, and we're going to open it. And here it says Convert to Daz Studio, and it says From. It's defaulted to Custom, and I am going to change that to Hexagon. It says 1 unit is equal to 1 centimeter. Let's take that, and we're going to, I leave everything else the same, and I accept. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the character is not exactly in line. So let me rotate it a bit. So this is going to cause some issues with the animation. You'll probably see it. I will twist the figure just for now, but you'll see it like there will be some distortions because the bones won't align. So let me try and twist that figure a little bit. So let me delete this. And I'm going to go back to Hexagon and try and fix that. So I want her to turn just a little bit. So I'm going to say rotate about the Y. Maybe, let's say rotate about, let's start with 5 degrees. And I'm going to export it again. And also let's just double check the bones while we're at it to make sure the height is good. So I click here on this tool settings icon. And I want to make sure I'm on joint editor. Because there's a drop down. So right now I do have joint editor. So I'm going to go that and close, and I want to select okay, so the bones are a little high. We might want to make this character a bit taller because the shoulders are on the high side. So I'll make a few adjustments. I might make the figure a bit taller and then rotate it a little bit more. All right, let's keep it like this for now and continue. I said I didn't want to overdo it and make it too perfect. But anyway, let's, so now I want to bring the color back. So I'm going to select the importer file. I go to surfaces down here and I select the actual second female warrior, that selection there. And I'm looking for base color. Here we go. So base color, I go to browse and I select the file that came with the 2D to 3D conversion. These are because I saved the other files from Hexagon. Okay, so there is our warrior. All right, so now I want to give this character some bones for rigging. So to do that, I go to edit, then figure, and transfer utility. And it says here source and target. So scene item, I'm going to select Genesis 8.1 female. So here you'll see why it is I prefer not to have too much information, because see here you have eyelashes, tear, shorts, and sports bra. So if it just been the figure, I would only have had the figure to select from. All right, so this target is going to be second female warrior, and you want to expand this because there's a little bit of information here. So parent to source figure, we want that to not be selected. I'm going to uncheck it, and I leave everything else the same, and I accept. Okay, so now if I expand this, you'll see I have bones. So now this character has been rigged. So I could actually delete that Genesis 8 female. So I'm going to delete now. And then I will select this again. And then we can try and run an animation. So I'm going to go here, animation. Oh, I have to uncheck filter by context because it matches, when it's filtered by context, it matches the Genesis character. So now, since these animations are from Daz Studio, I have to double check which Genesis figure. So we have here a simple, let's do a simple jogging for now. So this, okay, this is a Genesis 9, the next one here, Hexagon Genesis 8. So I'm going to double click on it. This information just tells me the animation is more frames than I have. I have 30 frames. So I'm going to say accept. It's asking me, do I want to go beyond my current timeline? And I'm going to say yes. All right, so here, if we look at the figure, see these distortions on the hand? That's what I was trying to avoid with position in the figure. Because here you'll see this is where the actual bones are. So if this was for a project that I was doing, I would move the bones around and to fix them. So you can actually select the bones. Let me zoom in, see if I can select. So you see when your arrow, the mouse arrow gets yellow, wherever it goes yellow, it means you can adjust it. So I'm not going to make any adjustments. We're just going to stick with it as it is just for the purpose of this demo. And then here, I will show you what it looks like with the running. So that's the character animated. And that's a simple jogging. So the next thing I want to show you is how to get it to hold a prop. So I'm going to undo this animation. And then I am going to go to props on the left hand side. I'm going to select props. I have some props already. So this is because I already have stuff from Daz3D that I either purchased or it came with it. So I'm going to look for a sword, because I'm going to make her hold a sword. And I need one that's compatible with the Genesis 8. So here's a sword. Let's select the right hand, and the F is for the female. So I'm going to click it. And there you see the sword is in the hand. So it's in the hand where the bones are. But because my bones are not matching with the character, it doesn't show it there. Okay, so now let's go to some animations, see if we can get sword animation. This is on Genesis. I need a Genesis 8. Okay, let's try this one. It's a sword combo. Oh, this must be an any block. Okay. Sorry, it is not. It's just because I didn't select the right character. It may not be. Let's double check. So I'm selecting the character and then I double click. If it doesn't show up, it usually means it's an any block and I don't have that here. So I'm just going to go click the plus sign and I make sure it says my character is showing there. And then, okay, so now it's there. So the sword, that's the left hand. Apparently, let's try this one. Okay, there we go. I have to move this because this here, when I'm in Animate, is the timeline. Okay, so that's it. Let me unselect so you can see it. Alright, so the next one I'll do is, after this, I will show you how I do this with now a Mixamo animation, because the Mixamo, it's free and you get like lots of options for animations. Yeah, I'm a bit limited because I only have what I had available from the Daz store for the animations. Okay, and that's it. I hope that wasn't too long, and hopefully it's useful for anybody else who's trying to do characters and get them holding props.